Yes. Love that damn new intro. In the Paddock F1, Greedy and the Cheese. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe and like button. Whoever you're listening to us. Round 22 sees the traveling circus of Formula One reach the entertainment capital of the world. Sin City. Las Vegas, baby. For the third time, this is Las Vegas Grand Prix. Las Vegas known for the casinos, resort hotels, the strip, the shows, the Elvis impersonators. But as we all know, boys and girls, Elvis said it best. There's blackjack, there's poker, and the roulette wheel of fortunes won and lost in every deal. All you need is a strong heart and nerves of steel. Because, Viva Las Vegas, baby. This ain't no travel show. This is an F1 show, and we are racing the Las Vegas Street Circuit. 17 corners. 3.85 miles, second longest on the counter, 2 DRS zones, through the streets and down the strip at 220 miles an hour. You get with the full beams for 79% your lap, and oh man, did we get one hell of a wild freaking weekend. Rain during quali through like an ice rink, it looked like these guys were driving through, and let me tell you, if you didn't think F1 drivers had skills, if you didn't watch quali, go back and check that shit out. That's why these guys are the best drivers in the world, because that was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Lando had pole. He went to cut off Max there at the start, but then he overcooked it in the turn one. Max took the lead, and off he went. And away he went for the rest of the race as Max got his 69th win of his career. But the real excitement came hours after the race, when both McLaren's, Norris, and Piastri's cars were disqualified. Moving George Russell up to second, and Kimi Antonelli to round out the podium in third. Tons to unpack after this one. We are caffeinated. We are medicated. Greeny, good day, sir.
Quite the introduction there, and good day to you as well. And thank you all for joining us after a late night, early morning, depending on where you were watching. Definitely an unusual time for the race, not a race time we see very often outside of maybe, China. But here we are. Thank you all for joining us, and if you haven't already, check us out on YouTube, in the Paddock F1 podcast on YouTube. Check us out there if you haven't already. And thank you all for joining us. And if you are watching, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It helps out way beyond more than you can imagine, and leaving a comment there as well. Let us know who your driver is the day is down below, because we were all over the place today. McLaren fans have to be absolutely crushed right now. This was, yes, Ferrari had the same situation just a few months back, but this is beyond way more devastating than anything Ferrari went through with their double DQ after earlier in the season. So I forget what race that was, but tick. Anyway,
was that China?
I think it was after China. But anyway, irregardless, cheese. What does this mean? Max Verstappen winning. You have a situation where if Max wins the next race, or Oscar Piastri wins the next race, and Lando Norris DNFs or does not finish in the points, we will have the third top of the table just this season, or just down the stretch, just in this fall, exactly what we wanted. How are we feeling? How are you feeling if you're a McLaren fan? How are you feeling if you're a Red Bull or Max Verstappen fan? And how are you feeling if you're just a Formula One fan right now? Because this was a wild post-race drama going on here. And how important does this role play? How important does this DQ play as far as mechanically, and what advantage did McLaren have with this? A lot to unpack, as you said, and a lot of questions that I just threw at you.
Wow, those are like, I can't even remember all the questions right now. I'm so medicated, but what does it mean for the season? We'll start with that one, because I can remember that one. This is massive. I mean, if Max wins the title, you could go back to this point for sure because this is so late in the season. 24 points. There's 58 points I think there's to play for over the next two races in Qatar and Abu Dhabi and the sprint race in Qatar. So I think there's 58 points maximum you could get if you win everything. 24 points is not a lot of points, especially now with anybody could DQ at this point now. With this, I'm sure McLaren is not going to make that mistake again for sure.
Doesn't have to be your mistake. Doesn't have to be your mistake. If someone runs into Lando,
absolutely. Oh no, for sure.
Get
run
into,
and
have his tire punctured,
or an engine malfunction. Engine could go. Lots of things can happen in auto racing, as we all know. So that is huge to only be 24-point lead at this point. That's massive. Max winning was also massive for that as well. It makes it way more entertaining for all of us Formula One fans. If you're a Red Bull and McLaren fan now, you're definitely sitting on the edge of your seat. Max definitely smells blood in the water right now. Max is going to go for it into that first corner as well today. What advantage does it give? If you run your car lower, you get more downforce. That's the whole thing. That's why you want to run the car as low as you possibly can without wearing through the plank, so you can get the most downforce out of your car.
Yeah,
I can't remember. There was another question too you had in there.
I think the biggest questions are, again, has this affect the season, which you said, but the power is out of your hands now if you're Lando Norris, right? Because
no, the power's not out of your hands. You still got a 24-point lead. If you take care of business over the next 2 weekends and the sprint race, the title you still have the advantage. You'll still have a 24-point lead. The only way you completely lose the lead is if you do not finish the race.
So with that, that's what's going on right now, right? Right? You look at it, and if there's a mechanical failure or you get crashed into, or we have potentially some kind of epic... It feels like we're going to have this epic all-time finish. It feels like we're setting up for this epic all-time finish. And that's why I say the power's kind of out of his hands. Much like the power ended up being out of Lewis Hamilton's hands at the end of the 2021 season, where it was completely in his hands, but it was pulled away, right? So it feels as if something is going to happen right down to the wire. I'm not saying this is manufactured as it felt in 2021 by maybe the powers that be. I don't know. I'm not going to get into conspiracy theory and put my tinfoil hat on here. But
get out the tinfoil hat, baby. Come on. Get out the tinfoil hat.
But you could, because we're in like Bizarro world with this double DQ. Completely, this is a situation where the power was taken out of Lando's hands today. I mean, the guy had a legit finish, had a legit podium finish, and ended up with 0 points. 0 points.
Rules are broken. I mean, the team actually came out and made a statement. They apologized to both drivers and their fans. So, take that as you will.
As they should. That's a screw up.
It's a massive screw up. It was a massive screw up months ago early in the season when Ferrari did it. You can't get a double DNF. Not for something like that. I mean, you know this. You know this going through practice. It's not like the plank is on from practice all the way through. The plank is changed before you go to quali. Because of Parc Ferme, you can't change anything after that point. Once your car goes, out for quality and finishes a lap, then your car is locked in for Parc Ferme rules. But the plank is changed before that, so you know through practice where you are at that point.
Is it possible that McLaren
somebody screwed up?
Somebody
screwed up.
I don't think.
I mean, that's some tinfoil hat stuff right there. Did somebody intentionally just tweak the car down a little bit more just to run that little bit?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
All right.
I think that's a little on the tinfoil hat side of things that somebody didn't screw this guy. We're not going to win this. I'm taking a couple beans from Red Bull or something like that under the table. I mean, I don't think any of that's really going on, but that's ridiculous to think. I don't even. That is tinfoil hat stuff right there.
Things will come out. This just happened a few hours ago here, so
somebody screwed up. They tried to run the car as low as they could and ran it too low. Somebody made an error. Maybe it was supposed to be a millimeter higher, and they put it a millimeter lower. Maybe they didn't think they were going to get the wear they were going to get. Maybe somebody miscalculated a little bit of weight with fuel or something. Somebody, forgot to carry the one.
Well, all I know is
when
you throw on a race in the desert and it's pouring rain out, something's going to happen that weekend. Something's going to happen because it don't rain in Vegas, okay? But it did this weekend. What a wild one. Listen, we're going to get
It was flooding the other day. It was flooding on, like Tuesday or Wednesday?
Absolutely wild.
It was totally out of control.
Absolutely wild.
I mean, this does happen at this time of year in Vegas. This is when they get their rain, but still, it is something you don't think of. Not like that, though. Not like that. No, that was some wild stuff, dude.
No, that was like Florida rain. You don't get rain like that in the desert. Well, you did this weekend. But we will get back to all of that stuff and our winners and our losers and our slaps coming up in a bit. But we're going to shift gears because I'm going to put my helmet on. My tinfoil hat is coming off. My helmet's coming on. I'm going to strap it in because I'm going to take a lap around the track. 3 sectors, 3 questions. It is Quizmaster's Cockpit. Jeez, you got some Vegas-style questioning for me, I guess.
I don't know. I went a little different direction a little bit for a couple of them. So we'll see how you do.
All right.
But they're all valid questions dealing with Grand Prix and Grand Prix weekends in Las Vegas.
All right.
So here you go. The first one is pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
When did Las Vegas come back onto the F1 calendar?
It was a 3rd year, so I guess it was 2023.
That is correct, sir.
That was a new Las Vegas.
That was a super, super cupcake question. Get a little harder on this one.
Not this.
This is a little different direction question.
All right.
This happened during practice in 2023, the first year.
Okay.
Vegas came back. And also occurred this weekend during practice as well, that brought out the red flag during the practice session. What happened?
The freaking sewer cap.
Yes, that is correct, sir. The manhole cover was loose.
The manhole cover. I don't like saying manhole, but that's just me. It's not a word in my lexicon. Some people don't like hearing the word moist. I don't like manhole, but, to each his own.
Sure. Get that suspense music going, goddammit. That's 2 for 2.
Oh, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. It got buried under other.
It did get buried.
It did get
buried there for a while. It's been a few weeks. There we go. Went a little different direction for this one as well.
All right.
Let's see if you can.
Not much.
Let's see if you can remember.
Strip.
Well, no, that's not right.
3 seasons here,
but
so.
I also went back to the 1980s, my friend.
All right. Back in your DeLorean.
Back in the DeLorean. What was the name of the Las Vegas F1 race in the early 1980s?
I believe it was a hotel that I have been to before that I have lost. Actually, I think I won money at this hotel, which it would have been the Caesar's Palace Grand Prix. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Yes.
That is a winner chicken dinner.
Yes. It's been a while. I think this might actually ruin your week because you don't get to see on the YouTube show the explosion of the board as we do for those of you who watched on YouTube. Thank you all for watching and liking and hopefully dropping a comment there. Because when you do lose, you blow it up. But we didn't. And we're going to go into winners, which I'm sure you have to reshuffle your deck over there.
I absolutely have to reshuffle my deck for damn sure, because I definitely have I didn't think you were getting I didn't think you were going to get them. Get all three. That's for damn sure. So, but let me reshuffle here. Winners. We didn't even mention this at the opening, but we did, or I did at the beginning there for real quickly, but we didn't mention it in our in the news or whatever thing. But we got to give it to Merck, second and third.
Absolutely.
I would say they pretty much clinched the, probably second in the constructors, unless they go through an absolute disaster. I mean, Ferrari is pretty much nowhere at this point for points-wise to compare with them. And now George Russell, again, just throwing up massive points. I think that's going to tie his, or put him at the, I think he clinches, fourth, I think, in the drivers for the season, I think.
Yeah, I think he clinched fourth.
I think he
now
clinched fourth.
He cannot. Well, I don't know now. I don't think he recalibrate if he actually is mathematically able to still win it all. But I think mathematically he's been eliminated.
Mathematically, he's out for the drivers to win the world title.
For the drivers because of Max 1. Yeah, so he's mathematically out. I don't know if he was
outgoing. I think he was out after last weekend, actually.
Maybe.
Huge for Merck. And, Russell, another podium for Kimi Antonelli, too. Closing out the year pretty strong here.
Kimi almost ended up on the... Well, hold on. Kimi almost ended up on the loser list for that false start and that 5-second penalty, because that...
He did overcome it, though, now did he?
He did overcome it.
He pitted crazy freaking early, and he pit like lap 2 or something? Mm-hmm. So... I mean, and he took those tires to the rest of the race, so that was a little, I don't know, maybe a little tire whisper running off from George Russell there on the little on Kimi there. So.
And the most backdoor podium you'll ever see. But go ahead.
Hey, you know what? These things happen. Take them when you can get them, son. I mean, they had a disastrous weekend, but the drivers overall for Ferrari, Leclerc and Hamilton coming back from 20th after the team didn't tell him he made the line in Q1. They didn't tell him until he was, already let off, and it was just an absolute disaster. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but I got a lot of things I could say about that, but we'll save that for another time. Also, the owner, I could definitely talk some smack about his ass too. And then Charles Leclerc finishing fourth now as well. Great, serious drive because the car was nowhere. I mean, Leclerc trashed the car for being bad in wet weather since he's been there. So that goes back to 2019, I believe, or something like that. So it's bad, but got to give him kudos for the performance they put in a rubbish car.
Yeah, so. Charles Leclerc, you got to give it up for Charles Leclerc. He's probably, outside of Max Verstappen, I really think over the last 4 months has been the best driver in Formula One. Listen, we talked a lot of smack about Carlos Sainz this season, and I know he started third. Probably should have finished 7th. Got a lucky 5th, but he did finish 5th, and regardless of finishing the points, it feels like it's been a while since we've seen Carlos Sainz finishing in the points. I know, his teammate has been a really long time since really Williams has put up many points at all, but big comeback, a double-digit point day for Carlos Sainz, finishing 5th after the recalibration there. I mean, I'm not going to go with Haas for the winners because they totally backdoored. They should have finished 11th and 12th. So I know they finished 9th and 10th. I'll take their 3 points.
Oh, take a victory lap. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Jog maybe for the 3 points for the 9th and 10th backdoor. But listen, I was loving Nico Hulkenberg all week. He started outside of the top 10, finished 7th after the recalibration there. Even regardless of 9th would have been a great finish for Nico. So you got to mention Nico Hulkenberg. Just still one of the best drivers. getting the most out of that Sauber car. Every single race, he's just getting the most out of that vehicle all season long. You got to give it up for Nico. There'll be plenty more time to praise the Haas drivers another time, but got to give it up for Nico. And those are my winners, which takes us into losers' cheese, and there's plenty of those as well. What do you got?
Oh goodness. Yuki Tsunoda. I mean, how many times is he going to start from the pit lane this season? I mean, seriously. I don't know how many that's been. That's 2 in back-to-back races, if I'm not mistaken. So that is freaking awful. I mean, goddamn, dude. Why don't you start the pit lane the rest of the year? I mean, Jesus God Almighty. That is freaking awful. This is an absolute disaster. Red Bull could definitely probably be, absolutely trying to get second place in constructors if it wasn't for Yuki's horrid performances through the entire season. So definitely give him another loser. I mean, they said that they messed up his tire pressures, but come on. It sounded like to me they were just trying to cover because he's just been an absolute disaster. Bortoletto, absolutely reckless. Ruined people's races.
That was
he's got a grid. He even got handed a grid penalty for the next race too. That'll carry over because he went out so early. So as well. So that was a really bad job. That was a very bad job. That was at this point of the year, you're not a rookie anymore. So you shouldn't be making those kind of a rookie mistake like that. That was a really bad job. So definitely throw him in the losers category, especially when your teammate, finishes in the points. So
yeah, it was a really bad job. Speaking of teammates, Alex Albon, just praising Carlos Sainz. Alex Albon, he's just like taking steps backwards.
End of the year has been bad.
Constantly now, and this is a guy who just a few seasons ago with Red Bull really looked like he had something. And looked like Williams, especially going into this year, was going to be... And he's just fallen apart down the stretch. I think it was 6, only 1 out of the last 7 races has he scored any points, I believe.
I think something, yeah.
Just really, really bad. Alpine is still a disaster. Can't get out of their own way. Pierre Gasly, who put up a really solid weekend, relative to where he's been over the last few months here, and then, has the misfortune, finished 15th originally, then 13th with the recalibration of the McLaren's, but yeah, that was some misfortune, but driving the weekend he drove and then ended up finishing 13th in the end. Just what a disappointment for Alpine. You thought they were finally going to put a point on the board, and just constant disappointment for this team. Which brings us, sir, to the epic part of the week. And this is like an extra one. This is like Vegas sand and, maybe like a handful of crack rock or something.
I need to slap my goddamn for that.
Somebody's gonna get slapped. This is probably the most epic slap of the year. Because this is so devastating, and I think just because it just only happened a few hours ago here, and we're learning about it, especially after everything we talked about with McLaren, and I know we spoke about it earlier, it was a lead story, but how do you not give the slap of the year, Cheese? I'm calling it the slap of the year. Front hand and backhand. Okay?
Wow!
Both ways. To whomever, and we will get names, to whomever screwed up for McLaren to cost him the double DQ. And we're just finding out about this. It seems like a pretty straightforward situation. But someone has to be responsible for screwing this up. And you want to blame Zach Brown? Okay, like that would be logical because the buck stops at the top, right? So you want to slap him. But a lot of people behind the scenes deserve to be slapped in McLaren. And a lot of apologies need to be given to both Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, because Max's chances for winning the Drivers' Championship, with his experience and knowing what to do in these final 2 races, if I can take the 3 of them, Max, Lando, and Oscar Piastri, and we can say right now who's going to get the most amount of sleep between now and when the final flag drops at the end of the season, it's hands down going to be Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Okay? Been there, done that. And
got a whole bunch of t-shirts
before. So, rest and sleep and taking care of yourself is going to be a huge matter. We don't see that. We don't see what goes on behind the scenes in the minutia, but they do. And Max can handle this, in my opinion. And you're nodding your head as well, because I think in your opinion as well, many of those opinions, and if you have an opinion of who's going to get the most sleep out of those 3 drivers, drop it down in the comments below, those you watching on YouTube, because I think Max is going to get the most rest, and that's going to play the biggest part. And if he doubles down in Qatar and wins both the sprint and the Grand Prix and puts up fastest lap again as he did today, that's a lot of points coming his way regardless of when Lando finishes or Oscar finishes. If he can triple up, right? Take it as many points as possible.
I don't think you get a point for fastest lap anymore.
There's no point for fastest lap anymore?
No, they got rid of that for this year.
Oh, they got rid of it this year? That's a shame. Shows how much I pay attention. But every point does count. And the hell did they take that away for?
I don't know.
Should bring back the double points for the last race. I like that.
I think they only did that for like 1 year. That was out of control.
1 or 2 years. People didn't like that. I like that. This season, it would have been absolutely phenomenal.
This season would have been wild.
Phenomenal. Okay? If they doubled points for the last race this year in Abu Dhabi, that would be absolutely, hands down, phenomenal. But we don't have it, and that is our slap, sir. And McLaren...
Front hand and the back hand.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. That's for damn sure.
It's just...
You can't do that. You cannot do that this late in the season. Bottom line, you can't do that. Not this late. Oh, yes! It's the best damn sound of the week. To take that fantasy ride to the fantasy island of Greentopia. Where the beer flows like wine, the wine flows like beer, and that cannabis, boys and girls, that's right, grows as far as the eyes can see. Look at it out there. Green and luscious. Take a little whiff. That air smells. Yes. Take a little walk to the top of the little casino top. You got them tickets in the hand? Are we cashing in or are we? Check it out.
Let me tell you, Cheese. I don't know what happened to start the season, but we are rolling at the end of the season here. 3 straight weeks. Both of us on the plus side of the money. So we dropped into the low 3,000s in the Greenie Bucks category, and we're both in the 4,200 zone now. Okay, so for those of you who missed last week's episode or 2 weeks ago from the last race, we were dead even at 4,182, which is preposterous. Almost. We're literally dead even in points to that number. We are no longer dead even in points, but we both also had, once again, another plus week. Let's go through the bets as they landed. We both had the double top 10 for the Racing Bulls, which did not happen. Thank you, Liam Lawson. He did not get a mention this week, but he will now for screwing that up for us. We both had, you had the box, which actually killed you because you had the 1, 2, 3 box of Max, Lando, and George Russell. I had the 1, 2, 3 straight of Lando, Max, George. So I would have got it wrong anyway. You hit the box, and then you didn't hit the box. So you're out of the box, and you lost that
I would have
one.
cashed in right after the race. I would have ran. I would have been able to cash in and run, baby.
They might have confound you if you cashed that one in. I took Max Verstappen with the fastest lap, and I think we both took Nico Hulkenberg with top 10 at plus 165 on that one. So that was a good bet for both of us. And so with that, you were plus 40.
I also took Max. I took Max for the win as well.
Took Max for the win. I apologize. Yes, took Max for the win plus 110. So not as much as I thought Max for the win should have been. But you did hit that plus line, and he does win. So you went plus 40 on 200 greeny bucks worth of bets. So that's a nice 20% pop on that. Anyone would take a 20% pop on a day for that one. I also bet 200, but I won 92 greeny bucks back. So I took like almost a 45% pop on the day. So that really helped me out. Puts you at 4,222 greeny bucks. Puts me at 4,274 greeny bucks. So it's like 52 greeny bucks difference. It is
all to play for.
Just as close. I don't know if we're going to throw maybe a sprint race bonus bet in here. We may or may not. I don't know. We'll talk about it because it is damn close. I did not think, Cheese, especially with our separation at one time during the season, that we would be this close. But exciting both in the F1 world and in our world as well, in the Greeny Bug world. And so keep tuning in for that as we change it up a little bit and head to the most informative part of the week. And that, sir, is...
In the
news. We got some news to talk about.
Got some stuff to talk to you about.
Not a ton. And if you missed it last week, we went through thoroughly and got some great feedback on that. And thank you, everyone, for watching on the YouTube and listening to the show about, John Elkann, Ferrari, and that whole disaster. If you didn't check that out now. We got some more news. So what do you got to hit me up with?
Well, how about this one, sir? Goes back to the Brazilian Grand Prix. Suspicions arose that teams were using an illegal technique by heating the titanium blocks underneath the car. This is used to expand near the plank. The plank. McLaren was just nicked for. This was used to basically protect the plank. The FIA found out about it. Checked all cars. Basically, every team in the paddock was basically using some type of technique for this. So the FIA put the nips in the bud on it. Told all teams they had to remove it or they were going to be disqualified back in Brazil. So... how about that? This goes back to the race before, so... yeah, and that
makes everything more interesting. And again, I think we're going to have to... We're off next week, right?
No, it's a triple header coming up to finish the year.
Oh, we got the triple header. I thought we had next week off before the last two. No, so we're going triple header. So we're going to find a lot more information out. If we do hit a big amount of... if we hit a spicy meatball on Wednesday or Thursday, speaking of Thanksgiving here, as we both have a little time, we might be able to throw a show out prior to next Sunday if something interesting comes down the pike, because this could get really, really interesting. This heating the plank, millimeter low, top team getting disqualified. I mean, this is a lot of information. So...
very interesting.
What else you got, Chiefs?
Apparently, Aston Martin is apparently going to sack Andy Cowell. As we know, he's the team principal there at Aston Martin. So he's apparently going to be sacked or fired. And apparently Christian Horner might be on the short list. Thoughts on that, sir?
Yeah, we've had a lot of movement towards Red Bull, former Red Bulls moving to Aston Martin. The Stroll family has plenty of money to give them, and money talks, and they have a lot. They have a lot to think about driver-wise. As much as I love Fernando Alonso, is he beyond the sunset of his career? Is Lance Stroll, pound for pound, the worst driver in Formula One? There's definitely an argument to be made about that. If all cars were even, if everyone drove a Lego car around the track that was all made the same, who would come in dead last? So, with all of that, Aston Martin needs. I don't think their only problem is management. I think they have to have as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says, the testicular fortitude to make the right moves on your drivers to be able to compete. Because with an aging Fernando Alonso and a not very good Lance Strolls, we've talked many, many times, the worst percentage in driver history versus your teammate, okay? In history. And we're talking over 200 races. That's not going to be a winning formula. So there's a lot of facets to look at. So I don't know if Christian Horner could be the end-all, be-all saving grace of Aston Martin. I think there's a lot to look at. Agree, disagree? How you feeling?
I mean, it's interesting to think that, Horner could end up there, especially, when maybe some of these guys left because of Christian Horner, and then they're going to have to team back up with them again. That's pretty funny to think of. I mean, he's probably the best guy out there, team principal-wise, or team principal candidate, you might want to say. So, and like you said, the Stroll's got the cash. So, but as you said also, I agree with you that the driver lineup might not be there. I mean, Fernando still, puts up point performances and does things that probably some guys on the grid still can't do. I mean, I agree on Lance Stroll. I mean, we trash him enough on this show. We do give him props when he does something right, but those are few and far between. So I think the lineup definitely has something to do. And there's rumors they were going to possibly bring Yuki on board. I mean, is that really the direction you want to go either, too?
That's
probably
not getting better. And
that's not getting better.
Speaking of Aston Martin and former Red Bull, Adrian Newey, as we were, had alluded to before. I don't know if you saw this, that a documentary is in production with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck about Adrian Newey. So that should be coming out, I believe, on Apple TV. So check for that early next year, I believe. So a little segue into the end of the news there, but a little unannounced news
we should
drop
get
there.
Cash for that plug.
Forgot to mention that one. All right, keep going.
I got a ridiculous one to close it out for you. Just because. Did you enjoy the top 3 drivers after the race being driven by a Lego pink Cadillac to the ceremony? And also, Mickey Mouse out there in the Bellagio fountains, directing it like it was Fantasia, light water show with the drones, making the F1 car and it was a scene, man. It was Disney in Vegas. I didn't know Disney had anything to do with Las Vegas until today. That was shocking to see the mouse, to see the mouse, the House of Mouse out there in Sin City. So I knew you were going to have something to say about that.
I got a lot to say about this. First of all, the Lego car, we did that. We did that already. Okay? We saw the Lego car. We're done. All right, now it's a Lego car. We did that already. Let's move on. Think of something else. All right? Very cool. Think of something else. I don't know. Could have paraded with a bunch of Elvis impersonators. That's great, too. Vegas is known for a lot more. I mean, how many people know who Elvis Presley is now anyway, of the younger generation, or care who Elvis Presley is anymore? Sorry. Pink
That's
Cadillacs and Elvis Presley.
That's fair.
I don't know. To me, it's just antiquated.
I remember some kid didn't know who I work with. Somebody was referencing Tommy Boy, and he had no idea.
It's a younger generation
it's younger generation
now. So no offense, but Elvis Presley wasn't our generation.
No,
he's dead before we were born, and we're no spring chickens anymore. Cheese.
No.
So with that, and now let's get to Mickey Mouse. Okay, Las Vegas is Sin City. Okay, Mickey Mouse is the opposite of Sin City. All right? I know you're trying to do a collab. You're trying to collab here. It's like having Mickey Mouse, I don't know, like, it's too much. It's worlds colliding that shouldn't be colliding. Mickey Mouse and Disney.
I mean, you had the Fantasia thing, you get a little get the little paraphernalia going. You could find some dude hawking on the streets there in Vegas. It might be a little good time.
You want to see Minnie Mouse walking down the runway at the Crazy Horse? Is that where we're going? Is that where we're going here? Put in a Motley Crue video? Like, where are we going with this?
I think it was more like an acid trip with, the Fantasia thing they had going on there, but...
It was too much. I think Vegas is struggling, that's for sure. We talked about this before. Vegas is struggling with tourists. Most of their tourism, besides Americans who can now gamble at home, Canadians who want nothing to do with coming to Las Vegas or the U.S. in general, and Europeans as well. So you lost a lot of that. Thank you for Meta and Mercedes for reaching out to us for press passes and having stuff for us, because that's how bad it probably got. that we had press passes for the weekend. They probably had like 100 sitting there. Like, I had no idea what to do with them. So when they're reaching out to us with press passes, that not a lot of people are showing up. So maybe it was the weather that kept people away. But
I forget what practice session it was. Might have been, I forget, it was FP1 or FP2, and the Sky Sports feed that Ted Kravitz was like, look at the empty stands or something like that.
Wasn't good. It wasn't good last year. I know 2 years ago there was a lot of complaints.
Well, they charged
the inaugural season
thousands of dollars for tickets, and then nobody's paying that. I mean, you can go to Monaco for way cheaper than that.
No, you can get a yacht, back it up, Monaco, for cheaper than what it's going to cost you for nosebleeds, with the whole package, with the hotel, with food, with the drinks,
Yeah.
And whatever floats your boat in Sin City, whether it's weird, giant drinks or oddball fantasies about Disney characters, whatever floats your boat there. Whatever. But
what the hell, dude?
Sin City is no place for Mickey Mouse. If that's the, I think we'll end it there. We mentioned it before, sir. But where are we headed next?
We're going to Qatar, man. We got a sprint race and a Grand Prix coming up next weekend. So not too long here to end it out with the triple header.
There ain't no Crazy Horse in Qatar, I'll tell you that much. So
that's for sure.
Ain't nothing like that there. And what a dichotomy, though, by the way, going from Las Vegas and 4 days later going to Qatar. So enjoy that. Formula One as we close to closing out the season. It's going to be a hell of a 7 days coming up here. And say what you got to say, brother.
I will see you guys in a short period of time here. Maybe we'll have a little something extra. We'll see. But until then, as always, stay medicated, my friends.
Peace.